Nate, have you ever heard of where the Duke of Wellington used to live, Arthur Wellesley? And in fact, there's still modern Dukes of Wellington. Apsley House, number one Apsley House in London by
Yeah.
Hyde Park. Have you ever been there at all? Have you ever seen that?
I've seen it. Not, yeah.
It's a lovely, lovely part of London, or used to be. Lovely building, absolutely lovely building, quite near, very near
250 years old, in fact.
Buckingham Palace. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a great war memorial there, and it's right by Hyde Park and Buckingham Palace, and lovely sort of touristy, the nice, very central touristy part of London, or should be. But there was a third world small shanty town built up around it. They decided, for whatever reason, that there's a small strip of land where you could put up like tents and just live there, and so a load of economic migrants did. There you go. Migrant shantytown outside iconic London home owned by billionaire Duke of Wellington. That's obviously the modern Duke of Wellington. I can't remember, is he like the fourth or the fifth Duke? I can't remember which one he is, but originally given to and lived in by the first Duke of Wellington, Arthur Wellesley, the victor of Vimero and Waterloo and everything. So yeah, Shantytown was built up outside that. Again, a lovely bit. Used to be a lovely bit of London, and it's a museum actually, Apsley House. Bit of a open museum. You go in there and you can see there's all sorts of memorabilia connected to the first Duke. And but third worlders, in foreign invaders, are just sort of, or it says there, Eastern European and African migrants had caused, quote, absolute misery camping on the tiny strip of land outside the Grade 1 listed Apsley House. And Brilliant. So the police came in and, or the authorities came in and sort of dismantled it and removed it. And in some quarters, there's sort of dismay that they dare do it. Look at that. Like, what? I mean, it might not look much to some people. If you live in like if you live in like LA or something, or Portland, you probably think, oh, that's not too bad at all. Or you live in Paris, that's not too bad. But I mean, it's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it? It's like, of all places, outside Apsley House. I mean, again, for anyone who doesn't know, Apsley House is sort of like, it's not really like Buckingham Palace. It's on a much, much smaller scale, and obviously isn't regnal, right? It isn't actually royal, but it's almost on that level. It's very, very much almost on that level. Well, it is ducal. It really is ducal. So it's something that if you've got a society that's got any real self-respect, right, you would keep it nice and clean and tidy. You know, like maybe I'm thinking of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., something like that. You don't really want it filled with homeless people, right? That's what Trump did, didn't he? Among other things. You don't really want it turned over to just homeless people and drug addicts and violent criminals, etc., etc., etc. So I don't know. It's just, I just think it's again a bellwether or an indication of the way our country's going, of the slippery slope, where there's just like a little tent city outside Apsley House, of all places, just of all places. I don't know. When I saw the story, I just thought, yeah, that's indicative. You know, yeah, that sort of speaks 1,000 words, really. That there's like African migrants camping outside Apsley House. I mean, what do you think when you see this or stories like this?
There's a few layers to this. So the fact that it was even allowed to be erected and was there to the point where, you know, it caused misery for people, was the quote, isn't it? Is indicative of Sadiq Khan and the police not doing their job, right? Like they shouldn't be allowed to do that. So why did it take so long? Why was it put up? Like, there's enough police in central London, like, going around all the time, all the time. They knew it was there. There's 1 million CCTV cameras in London. They knew it was there and they did nothing. So that's a dereliction of duty from that perspective anyway. So there's that layer. But then there's also the layer of the fact that they're homeless migrants. So it's a dereliction of duty from the government and the Home Office and the civil servants. They're homeless and they're migrants. So deport them. Send them home because they can't sustain themselves. They're homeless. Send them home. Send them back home.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, there's that. They shouldn't be here. They're homeless. They're living on the fucking street. So send them home.
Yeah.
I mean, that it really is that simple.
Yeah.
And then the third layer is, there's another layer. The third layer is that, this never really happened, right? This is that slippery slope. It's a sign of cultural decay. This is the capital city, and there's a fucking shanty town with Africans in it. Are you what? Yeah, that's mental. That's mental. And then my fourth little layer I'll sprinkle on here. For anyone that's, I guess sort of our age, will remember back in the day, tramps. Tramps used to be a thing. We've had homeless in this country. We've had tramps. But they weren't arseholes. Tramps, by and large, everyone used to know the local town tramp.
Yeah.
They were all right.
Yeah.
They were actually all right people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a bit, they'd have a drink here or there, but they weren't nasty. They weren't aggressive. They weren't violent. 9 times out of 10, they were actually all right. Yeah, they were homeless, but you could speak to them. They were fine. Everyone knew them. Everyone knew the local tramp.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with this shit?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I thought you'd like the fourth layer.
I couldn't agree more. There was, when I was growing up in the town, I grew up between two small towns, kind of equidistant between one. And one of the towns had no homeless whatsoever. And the other one had, one homeless guy. There's one homeless guy, and everyone knew him. Everyone knew his name. And he was like a caricature of a tramp. He was like a Hollywood 1960s caricature of a tramp is what he looked like. And he was slightly mentally ill, but was completely normal and approachable. I mean, and was perfectly normal and reasonable, and people would give him a little bit of change sometimes, and he knew he could go to the odd shop here or there most days, and they'd give him something. They'd give him like some bread or something just for free, because he was the only one. And there you go. That's it's funny you should say that and describe that, because exactly what I had growing up. Rather than just gangs, loads and loads and loads of foreign people. I think, again, in Bo's Britain, if you're a foreign national and you're homeless, that's an immediate ticket to be sent back to your country of origin. Immediate.
That's a kind thing to do.
Right. That's the correct thing to do. Kindest thing to do. Yeah. You cannot be homeless and a foreign national on this island, would be my policy. I remember when I was working in, it was not too long before I started at Load Seaters, but that's still knocking 5-6 years ago now, whatever it is. I was working in quite central London, around Victoria, Pimlico sort of area. Anyway, there was a guy there who stand on the street corner, and he was obviously straight off the boat. Well, not obviously, but he was almost certainly straight off the boat. I mean, he had no English to speak of, and he had a gammy leg. He had something wrong with his leg, or was pretending he did. I don't know if he did or not. But he didn't have any. He didn't speak English, and he was selling the big issue, trying to sell the big issue, and he couldn't even say big issue. Right? He was either Indian, Bangladeshi, or Pakistani. He was one of those, and he would just stand on the corner, just going issue. And if you ever tried to speak to him or buy it or anything, he had no English in order to facilitate the selling of the big issue. So you just stand on the corner, going issue. It's like, what are you doing in this country? Like you're a beggar, you're a homeless beggar, and you've come here to beg. No. You get to go home, bro. You get to go back to where you came from, because you're nothing but a drain on us. Nothing but a drain on us. Now, some bleeding hearts and liberals and things will say, what a heartless thing to say, Bo. What a truly heartless thing to say. I mean, my riposte to that would be, go fuck yourself. These people need to go back to where they came from because they're ruining our country. Yeah. Clear up Apsley House. Do it.